they need to get shut down. Really and truly. I don't know any other way to say it. Like, I have been part of this fight with the transfer station, in the Grotto Street, whatever you want to call it. It's a shame. It should have never gotten like that. As I was in college, and this was like right around the time we were privatizing our trash, I was doing a research project, and the research project came out that the absolute worst thing that you can do for any city was to go private with your trash. And now, years later that we're having all these issues. One thing that we do need is to figure out how we're going to shut that place down and get a new one. Figure it out with them. And it shouldn't really be costing us money, because I'm pretty sure that there's been a lot of money put into it. And I've seen the guys who came down and talked in front of City Council. They don't look like they're stressed out about money at all. And we are. And that is not fair to us. Another thing that I think about dealing with the rodent issue is, like, we need to take care of our community and, you know, make sure that our business owners and our property owners know how to recycle, know how to take care of their property, that we're cleaning the streets, that we're making sure, you know, things are happening in the community. Because, I mean,
30 seconds.
Although the transfer station is an issue, it's not the only thing that's causing the rodent issue in our community. So, you know, teaching our kids about, you know, recycling, not throwing things out of the window, and just properly taking care of our city. So that's where I'm at. If I knew how to close that transfer station down, trust me, I'd shut the door. So.
Thank you, Melissa. Jim?
The first part, our city, our terrific, incredible Pawtucket is dirtier than it has been in a very long time. And I'm not blaming administrations, I'm blaming the people physically collecting the trash. I've driven behind them, they have that automatic arm, they dump it, whatever goes into the trash barrel goes in, whatever goes out, no one gets out and picks up. To specifically talk about the rat problem, the best part, and anyone that's been following me, I'm trying to plug here, anyone that's been following me on my Facebook page, I have loved the campaigning part. I love talking to everybody that I've been able to meet. So when I went over to Fairlawn, I was able to go door to door, and everybody talked to me about a rat problem. So some of them even showed me damage that these rats have been doing to their homes. The burrowing, all that stuff that the rats are doing inside that area. I asked, well, what is the city doing? We are giving them one black box, and it is sporadic at best on when we refill the bait. We're also doing a baiting system that we found out the rat takes the poison and then goes. Where's the rat going? No one knows. So how are we collecting these dead rats? Where are these dead rats ending up? And they're not replacing the bait inside the bait boxes. I asked someone, when's the last time this happened? This happened 2 weeks ago. I went down next door. Her next door neighbor said, oh, they were here 2 weeks ago? I haven't had my bait box replaced since about the middle of June. How is this possible? We need to have an absolute schedule when we know we have a problem inside our city. Quality of life issues. I wish I knew how to talk faster, or Scott didn't give me a time limit so fast. But the street sweeping program, another thing about keeping the city clean, something I'm appalled by when I was going door to door. Not only do we have a sporadic street sweeping program, we don't have a sporadic ticketing program. I saw somebody that had a ticket on a day that the street sweeper didn't come through. You're not allowed to park on the street. You get a ticket and the street sweeper didn't still come through. We have to fix that.
Thank you, Jim. Jenny Lee?
I think it's important to hold contractors accountable to any contract. So I think that the city has failed to hold that particular company accountable, and that's why the area is suffering the way that it is now. Whether it's fining them to make sure that they do it, if there's absolutely no consequence, why would the contractor change what they're doing? I also want to just add that my daughter, who goes to a Pawtucket public school, had a program last year where she was learning about recycling, and she would constantly come home and talk about like different ways to recycle. So there is some work being done through the schools with our youth, but we definitely absolutely need to expand that, and also need to look into expanding and getting actual real recycling bins for recycle. I'm sorry, not recycling bins, trash bins for the trash. Thank you.
Emmanuel?
So the original question was about the transfer station,
Yes.
correct, and what we would do there.
What would you do to hold WCIA accountable?
What would I do to hold
road
WCIA
issue.
accountable? So I was frankly a little bit disappointed at a council meeting I attended this week, and ever since I first became a candidate in the special election in April, I joined Fairlawn in that fight against the new proposed transfer station. I don't think government has all of the answers. We need to listen to the community as to what to do with that current site and even what to do with that contractor. My own opinion as a private resident is I believe in performance-based contracting principles. If a company doesn't hold up their end of the bargain, they are using your tax dollars and they are wasting them. So we need to either recover damages for what they're not doing or force them to make the improvements to the building that they haven't made. The 2012 contract stated they would have to build a road, an access road to the transfer station. That has not been built. The 2012 contract puts them on the hook for the wear and tear of the building. That has not been done. We need a stronger enforcement arm. And if the city isn't willing to lead, then the council needs to step up and be willing to lead. I would also say that the rat and rodent issue in Fairlawn, I've also talked to residents in the area and they've showed me wires that have been chewed up. A lot of residents don't actually have trash cans. The city has provided recycling bins for everybody. We should also be providing trash receptacles that are about the same size as those recycling bins, and even consider recycling more
30
often.
seconds.
I often run out of room in my own recycling bin and therefore have to throw recyclables in the trash because the truck cannot lift if I double stack all of my waste in there. So I think we need proactive solutions, but we also need to bring that issue to community forums to get community input on what to do.
Rodney, you're up.
I don't live in Fairlawn, but I do know, or I do believe I should say, if the rats are coming from WC, they are totally responsible. They should be taking care of this issue. As far as if that's the problem, and the transfer station itself is, I agree with the solution of closing it down, ending that contract as soon as possible. I like the idea of us getting into clean energy, maybe a solar farm to offset, get revenue from clean energy to offset sending our trash elsewhere. We don't need to be in the trash business. We don't need to have trash in Pawtucket. As we can see, it causes a lot of problems. Put it out where it belongs, not in the city of Pawtucket. We can benefit from, like I said, getting into clean energy resources to offset that cost. I totally believe in that. But as far as WC being responsible, if that's where the rats are coming from, yes, they are. I'm not sure what's going on with why they're not being forced to abide by the contract. That's a problem. And I'm not one to not be afraid to blame present and past administrations. Like I said, my family moved here when I was 2 years old. I've been here since 1957. They are the problem.
You have 30 seconds.
That's all I need to say. Thank you.
All right.